Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have a post review for you guys. I am very, very excited to share this with you. But before we get into it, I definitely just snorted. Before we get into it, if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting related content from time to time. And I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. So before I get into my post review, a post review, if you don't know, is where you share all of your thoughts, the good, the bad, the ugly, on a canvas that you've recently completed. I have just completed this. This is called I Choose You. It is from the Mermaid Cavern. I am very, very excited to share this with you guys. I did an unboxing. This was sent to me, and so I will link the unboxing for you guys up in the eye. This was sent to me, and it was never one of those, hey, I'm going to send it to you. Can you complete it? It just was, can you unbox it and share with everybody? And I decided I really wanted to do a canvas from a new to me company, and I was really excited to work on this one. I completed this in the span of 10 days, over 37 hours and 11 minutes. I just want to say, one thing, I will always say this when I do my post reviews, is that I don't ever share my time and how long things took and all of that stuff because it's a competition. Simply just because I keep track of that and sometimes people are interested in that. But please note, if you are somebody who has, only like 30 minutes at a time to be able to sit down and diamond paint, obviously it's going to take you a lot longer than somebody who has hours and hours and hours. On average, I get to diamond paint about 3 to 3.5 hours a day on the days that I get to diamond paint. I am a stay-at-home parent, but I do not have the kind of kid that I can diamond paint around. I've seen interactions with people within the community where they're able to diamond paint large canvases in very short time, and people are always like, oh my god, how'd you do it? And a lot of times the answer is that they are disabled or they are home all the time. So please keep that in mind before you make any kind of assumptions or comments. Anyway, another thing you should know about me, if you are new here or newer to my post reviews, is that everything I share with you is my honest opinion. Transparency is super important to me. Whether I am an affiliate, something was sent to me, I will be completely honest with you guys on everything. So I have my drills here. I'm going to move them out of the way real quick. I'm going to show you guys this canvas. This is a 45 by 75 square drill canvas. They are resin drills. It had 67 colors with 3 ABs. You can see up here in the sky, it is just littered with this blue AB. And then there are 2 different shades of red AB as well. So let me give you guys a little tour here. The sparkle in this is super, super nice. I chose this. Oddly enough, it's called I Choose You. Look how beautiful her little face is. I chose this one. I'm a Halloween person year-round, so it didn't really matter to me that it was, November, December. I guess December I started on this. I don't know. And as I said, I did this over the span of 10 days. Doesn't mean it was 10 consecutive days. But I really like, her face is super cute. And these ABs are just everywhere in the sky. And then the little bats and just, look how cute she is. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And there's like the picket fence and there's a bunch of the jack-o'-lanterns. The jack-o'-lanterns, very interestingly enough, the way they're rendered is done really well. Because when I started working on them, I was like, why is it so red? But just the way they rendered the accents of like the yellows and oranges, like this whole background is different shades of red, but it looks like an orange jack-o'-lantern. Even the darker ones, you can still see those tones. The skin tone, it's a little on the pink side, but the original is also a little that way. I loved working on this canvas. I actually was in a situation where I wasn't loving the canvas I was working on before this, so I put that aside and I picked up this one instead. I will talk to you guys all about that another day, but it's like the little details here. Like the way her ear is rendered is just beautiful. So if you don't know, if you haven't seen my unboxing or you haven't seen any videos from the Mermaid Cavern, the Mermaid Cavern is a shop that is owned and operated by Lay, and she creates all the images. Her and her husband create all the images. She's got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in sketchbooks and digital drawings that they've done together. So just this style is what her style is. There are a few things I do want to mention. My biggest issue with this canvas was large patches of what seemed like not enough adhesive. Now, if you are somebody who has dealt with areas that aren't very slippery on your canvases before, sometimes it's just a matter of it hasn't cured fully. And what I like to do in those situations is pull the plastic cover up and just let it sit. I had a couple sections of this that were uncovered for like 3 days and it still made no difference. I just think that when the glue was poured, that when they wiped it off, that they just wiped certain areas too thin. I have no drills like coming off, so there's enough adhesive that it's stuck. But it was one of those situations, and if you've ever dealt with this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where it did not matter what wax I was using in my pen, it just wouldn't let me release the drill to the glue because the glue wasn't strong enough, which was particularly difficult in areas that had the ABs because the ABs just wanted to stick even more to the wax. Obviously, it didn't deter me. I have finished the canvas. I did it in a good amount of time. I will say the symbol quality on this was absolutely fantastic, but the symbol choices were definitely frustrating, and I'll go over that with you guys here in a minute. Let me grab my drills. So as I mentioned, there are 67 colors, 3 of which are ABs. Here are the ABs. So you can see here we have like an orangish red and then blue. This blue, you guys, I cannot get over how much blue. I mean, you can see just the sky is just littered with it. That's the only way I can describe how much there is. But I had, this was the main color that was not the AB, and I had plenty left over. I had some colors that had, you know, more than others. But again, that's kind of to be expected. This is a square drill kit. I think I mentioned that. So squares in general, you always have more trash with because it's harder to make a perfect square. So a lot of the drills were little tabs or burrs or I had very few that were concave. I had a couple that were stuck together. But this is the trash that I had, which I don't think is bad. But I will say, I am one of those people, I am not overly particular about trash. For me, like pieces like this one, I'm not going to use that because then it makes the drill next to it not be able to lay and then it'll pop. So you can see there's a lot of these like double drills. They just didn't separate in the process. And that's fine. I think that this is a small amount of trash, especially for a square kit. But I know that I point that out a lot because I know there are some people who are very, very particular about their trash drills. And I just didn't want... I want to be honest with you guys. So, as I mentioned, there were a couple symbol choices that I didn't love. And I will try to insert pictures as I'm talking about them. This first one here, it was the blue square with the check and the blue square with the diamond. And I'll put the picture that I have of that here. This just caused my brain to stop and think a little bit more than I would have liked to. For many of us, this is like a mindless craft. We really want to just take our mind off of things and just be able to get lost in the artwork. It wouldn't have been a big deal if they were different colors, but they were almost the same color in the containers and the same color on the canvas. So that was one. The other is a set of 4 symbols. Now, again, I want to point out that if they were in different color schemes, it may not have been quite as dominant of an issue. Where is... Let me find 30. There we go. So, I'm going to just start with... There's 4 symbols that are similar, but I'm going to start with the 2 that gave me an issue together. So this is like the 4 dashes versus the 4 squares or 4 diamonds. And all of these colors are pinkish in hue. So I had these, and then I was like, oh, so I just need to pay attention to the shape that I'm doing. But then when I started working on this symbol, I noticed that it looked an awful lot like these symbols. So you have 3 here that are in the shape of a plus sign. This one in particular, and if I have the photo, I'll put that for you guys here. But this one here, I actually had to take everything off my desk and shift my canvas around to make sure that I could tell the difference between this one and this one. This one was much higher up on the canvas. I start at the bottom right when I work. I work like a typewriter. I go from right to left, then I pull the canvas down, and then I go from left to right and pull the canvas down and just keep going until I can flip the canvas. But the plus sign was definitely easy to distinguish once I realized that it was a darker shade of pink on the canvas. But you can see these are all very, very similar symbols. And again, if they were in totally different color schemes, it would have been a lot easier to decipher. But again, this was not enough to, deter me or stop me from enjoying the process and enjoying the canvas. But you can see I've got a ton of drills left over. Some of them were staticky. Some of them were fine. But I really loved the drill quality. I thought the drill quality was fantastic. And the symbol quality was fantastic. I've come to the conclusion... Sorry, if my audio trails off, it's because I'm putting stuff behind me. I've come to the conclusion that I think, excuse me, things have slightly changed in my preference of what I need for a good canvas. Obviously, many of us, we like the poured glue, we like the higher quality, like resin drills and things like that. But for me, like, I'm realizing symbol quality might be like inching up there for me. That might also be because my previous kit had poor symbol quality. And it's not a previous kit that I have done a post review on, so I'm not sitting here telling you guys something that I haven't already said. But I loved how this came out. I just want to show you guys, like, her face, just, don't mind my gapping. But up close, you can see the rendering is like, oh, that's a little interesting. But then from far away, it just looks fantastic. I loved the hair. The shading in the hair was really, really well done. But I want to say the one thing that I love that translated the most in this image to me is the glow from the jack-o'-lanterns. Like, you can see here the bottom of her hair and her backside here. You can see where it would be glowing from, like, the candlelight. You can see here on her belly, and then here on, like, the front of her arm. But also, like, can we talk about this? This whole side of her face is lit by these jack-o'-lanterns. And it just translated so beautifully. I am really, really happy with how this came out. Really, my only issue was, like, my real issue was the adhesive, but I don't think that's a consistent across the board kind of thing for this company. I think it was probably just like this batch that was, the glue was poured that way. But I did not need to go out and buy an additional adhesive or do any of the tricks with, like, the nail polish or adding your own double-sided tape. Like, I didn't have to add anything. I just required a little bit more patience. So for me, if the whole kit was like that, it might have been a bigger deterrent for me. But overall, I am super, super, super thrilled with how this came out. And I really enjoyed the process. I don't know that I have anything else. I love the little bats. But if you guys haven't checked her out, please check out her shop. She's got so many images, and she is constantly releasing more. They are all drawn in this similar like anime style. So if this is not your thing, this is what she carries. It's different variants of it. It's different skin tones of it. It's different backgrounds of it, but it's all this same general style. But just like you might be a fan of a certain artist, you may like some of their images more than others. And that's totally normal too. But I think that might be it for it, you guys. Overall, I would definitely recommend checking her out. Please note, she is a US-based small shop. So if you are somebody who is doing international shipping, the cost of shipping is going to be a lot higher. And as always, I mention the soapbox issue that I get on is no small shop is out there trying to take advantage of anybody with the cost of shipping. Shipping prices are predetermined by USPS. UPS, FedEx, DHL, whatever shipping company you're using. And then the seller needs to include the cost of packing materials as well. So nobody's out there trying to rip anybody off with shipping costs because it is expensive. If you have never had to deal with it, shipping within the US is expensive. So I just want to put that out there. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Even if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. If you made it all the way to the end, leave me some Halloween emojis. I know it's January, but anybody else a Halloween lover year-round? We've got ghosts out front of our house. We call the Boo Crew. They've been out for like a year and a half straight. And they're not going away. So I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you guys. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come, join the Sparkle Squad. While you're there, hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record when my tiny human is sleeping or sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you on my next one. Bye, guys.